Hello friends, here I am recording a short video on Foucault for beginners. Now, Foucault, as we all know, the great new historicist, critic and post-structuralist, needs no better introduction. He was a Frenchman and he had given to this world great works of cultural study like Madness and Civilization, History of Sexuality, Archaeology of Knowledge, and so on. Now, in this talk, we are going to look into the basic concepts of Foucauldian theory like discourse, knowledge, and power. Now, first of all, discourse. Discourse is a body of thought and writing that is united by having a common object of study, a common methodology, or a set of common ideas and terms constituting a variety of texts. For Foucault, a discourse is an institutionalized way of speaking or writing about reality that defines what can be intelligibly taught and said about the world and what cannot. For example, in the History of Sexuality, Foucault argued that a new discourse of sexuality had fundamentally changed the way we think about desire, pleasure, and our innermost selves. Discourse produces the objects of knowledge. Now, in the concept of power, Foucault explains power in his book Discipline and Punish by using the metaphor of panopticon. Panopticon is a circular prism designed by 19th century English reformer Jeremy Bentham. Power is deployed by the social institutions by the constant reinforcement of social norms, classifications, and surveillance. The individual situated within a social network is perennially a subject of perpetuating power. Knowledge constructions enables and legitimizes the operation of power within systems of governance where even truth as accepted forms of knowledge and scientific understanding is constructed as a function of power. In Discipline and Punish, Foucault argues that modern society is a disciplinary society, meaning that power in our time is largely exercised through disciplinary means in a variety of institutions like prisons, schools, hospitals, militaries, etc. Now, there is a power and discourse nexus. A key point about Foucault's approach to power is that it transcends politics and sees power as an everyday socialized and embodied phenomenon. That is why state-centric power struggles, including revolutions, do not always lead to change in the social order. The revolutions are always seen as a descent to the power system. Foucault believed in possibilities for action and resistance. He was an active social and political commentator who saw a role for the organic intellectual. To challenge power is not a matter of seeking some absolute truth, which in any case a socially produced power, but of detaching the power of truth from the forms of hegemony, social, economic, and cultural, within which it operates at the present time. Discourse can be a site of both power and resistance with scope to evade, subvert, or contest strategies of power. Now, knowledge. Foucault was concerned with truth, knowledge, power, ethics, the subject and relations between these, though his specific emphasis and focus varied at different points in his life. All these issues were present in the first major work, Madness and Civilization, albeit in a somewhat confused fashion, as he himself later admitted. The truth axis and scientific classification practices were studied in The Birth of the Clinic and The Order of Things in the 1960s, while truth and knowledge received attention in the later 1960s in the Archaeology of Knowledge. These represented a historical ontology of ourselves in relation to truth, through which we constitute ourselves as subjects of knowledge. Foucault's studies focused on one overall discourse, that of the human or social sciences, for example, psychology, penology, criminology, demography, sexology, sociology, and economics. His stock in trade was the overturning of received interpretations about established knowledges. Foucault's purpose was not to determine the truth and progress of these human science disciplines, but to examine the social effects of the knowledges they produced over time in different points of history. So basically what he is saying about knowledge is that knowledge is something which is produced and constructed over time and by social institutions. For example, nowadays there is a tendency